Do you think that jiu-jitsu will become an Olympic sport?
So there's two sects, right? IBJJF, if you do like the rules meetings and things like that, like their goal isn't for it to be an Olympic sport, because they don't want to take the essence of the martial art away. They want to make like the mount is a good position in a fight, different positions are, that's how the rule sets, that's how the points are made, right? And then like the Sheikh of Abu Dhabi, they're, the different federations, they're trying to make an Olympic sport.
That's interesting.
Yeah. It's similar to judo, right? In some ways, but it's become so popular around the world that, I would think some form of that would be, happening. Like even FILA grappling, FILA, the wrestling federation, they adapted grappling for a minute, trying to get it in that direction. But
and I think it's good for the world, man. There's less fights now, I think. And I don't know, I'm speculating on this, but I would imagine there's less fights because people know how to fuck somebody up. They know it's like, you don't want to, this unassuming guy can armbar you, whereas before, like in the 80s, you would just get in a fight and they're just like, well, what are they going to do? They're just going to punch you. Now people have learned to punch and kick and choke and
we talk about doing something hard, like jiu-jitsu is hard, right? You have to face your fears and you have to, do stuff, but also just afterwards, like you can't take yourself too serious, right? When you're doing some of these positions and things like that, pushing yourself to the limits. But just makes you a better person, makes you like more chill, right?
Agreed.
You don't need to fight with them, but you can just walk away and be like, it's all good. Whatever.
But also I think for confidence wise too, if you're fearful.
No, for sure.
For people who are fearful of, living in certain areas or, anxiety, that jiu-jitsu can help with that.
Yeah.
Make you feel less fearful, more confident.
For sure.
Tynan Dalpra. That was the name, the AOJ kid. That's like, he's not a kid anymore.
You said a B. I was like, he threw me off.
I know. It threw me off, and then I was thinking like,
I've been watching him since he's a purple belt, just winning all the golds and all the tournaments.
Did you just watch the IBJJ, the international?
The English one? The Europe one?
Yeah, the Europe one.
Yeah.
Dude, he steamrolled people. It made him look silly in certain things.
Yeah.
I was like, I loved watching him roll.
Did you play, what sports did you play growing up? Like talking about myself.
No, it's fine. Trust me, I don't really. I grew up racing motocross. I was on a bike probably when I was 3, and I started racing when I was 5 and started doing that. I never really did too many team sports, do like football in school or whatever. But once I got Saved by the Bell, it took me out of high school.
Yeah.
So I was never on a baseball team, and I didn't do Little League. Did tennis.
Because it was, like it was like, you're super fan. You were, And
it wasn't that. Actually, it wasn't that. I would go back to normal school after every season.
Okay.
It was interesting. Back then, people didn't really care that you were on a show. It's like, you're an actor, you wear makeup. It was like, it was that kind of thing. Like,
what school did you go to?
I went to Hart up in Valencia.
Okay.
And then because it's a public school and they would have to send my work with me to go to set, and I was working for, pretty much the majority of the school year, it put a lot of pressure on the teachers and the school. So I had to go to their satellite school, which was next door, which was like in a trailer. And it was for kids who either were delinquents or they were working because a parent might have been disabled or had a disability. And so I went to this school that, wasn't the best. And it was just a lot of worksheets and things like that. So before that, from K through 8, I went to a private school here in the Valley.
Okay.
And had a great education. My education from 9 to 12 was pretty stunted. And then, I was on set, and when you're working on set, you need 15 hours of schoolwork a week. So they have to figure out, the production has to figure out, how do you get 3 hours on Monday, 3 hours on Tuesday, 3 hours on Wednesday, all the way to Friday. What happens is you bank time. You only really need 1 hour a day, but you need 15 for the week. So sometimes you do 4 hours on Monday, which are the lighter days on a production, 4 hours on Tuesday, and then you'd only have to do an hour on Friday and 2 hours on Thursday kind of thing.
It's like the homeschooling now.
It's exactly like homeschooling, but back then, homeschooling wasn't really a thing. It was like, well, how do we? Yeah, before computers. Like, what do you do? So you get worksheets. Well, worksheets were, multiple choice. I would find the answer key in my teacher's, file box when he went to the bathroom, take that, and I would cheat. So my education wasn't great. And then, one of the other things that happened was I wasn't able to play sports, and I was a very athletic kid. I wanted to play sport. After Saved by the Bell, we wrapped when I was almost 18.
What was the process like? Did it blow up right away?
No, not at all.